Men who suddenly lost your interest in someone but for a weird reason. What was it? She spat in her hands and rubbed them together because she needed to wash them. I cannot describe the colossal speed at which that switch turned off. It was a really horrible relationship, even this aside, but my wow, I think I actually hate this person moment was when we were at Badlands National Park. We were just walking out of the gift shop with some other woman when she just let go of the door, and it like slammed into that woman's face. I said to her, "OMG, I'm so sorry." Then when we got to the car, I said to my girlfriend in like a joking tone, "I can't believe you didn't hold the door for her, haha." And because she was a very, very miserable person all the time, this makes her mad, and she goes, "Well, while you're the man, you're supposed to hold the door. I don't need to hold the door for anybody." And yeah, that one statement alone was very eye-opening for me. Seriously, the easiest, least heartbreaking breakup I've ever gone through. I see you've met my current girlfriend. Didn't return the shopping cart and left it in the middle of the parking lot. Not weird. That's the sign of a shithead. She accused me of cheating on her in a past life. Well, did you? I told her, I don't remember that. Sounds like something someone who cheated in a past life would say. I'd been talking to this girl in class I thought was really cool. We ended up going for a bite after class one day and she suggested we go hang out in my dorm room. Hell yeah. Then she took off her glasses and she looked exactly like my mom. It was so jarring I excused myself to the bathroom to regroup. But when I came back I couldn't unsee my mom's face on her. I made some lame excuse and went back alone. I felt bad about bailing on her, but I also, how the hell would I tell her the real reason? Either she thinks I'm a weirdo or thinks I'm saying she looks like she's in her 50s. A guy at a party once told me I looked like his mom. Then he tried to make out with me. The way she treated her children, her boy was permitted everything and her daughter had to follow very strict rules. They smelled wrong. I did this. Tried explaining to my friend and they kept insisting that the person didn't smell bad. I couldn't get my friend to understand that it wasn't bad, just wrong. Something about their smell was just not right. Still not sure how else to explain it, and I've never experienced it since. Every time I would stand close to her, I could smell piss. I thought maybe she was going through her periods or some UTI, but the smell was consistent for days and very strong. I just couldn't associate such a pretty face with such smells, so I backed out. Also, some people say I have a strong sense of smells, so that could be it as well. UTI maybe, poor hygiene maybe, or it could be that she was on drugs. People that take methadone smell like cat piss, the reason it's called meow meow on the streets. What baffled me the most that she was very well put together, in general. Clean clothes, nice hair, good makeup, and all in all well put. Don't know what was down there. In biology class she kept laughing while stabbing a dead frog that we were supposed to dissect. I invited the girl from my psych course I'd been vibing with to a party. Her car rolled up and I came out to greet her, but it was a dude's car, and she was drunkenly making out with him as I walked up. I didn't flip out or anything, but she slurred her way through some weird attempt at reassuring me that I shouldn't worry, 'cause she was only sleeping with him to punish him because he was a bad guy. Apparently that's a thing she does, and that I was a good guy. I didn't ask what happened to good guys. I felt bad for her date, whom she completely ignored the rest of the night. As for the girl, she ended up totally engrossed with the party host gerbil, tapping on the glass of its cage whispering how she wanted to kill it. I found somewhere new to sit in psych class for the rest of the semester. My mate ghosted a girl simply because he didn't like her cadence when she spoke. Way back in college I was doing some training for a call center job and there was a super beautiful girl in my class. We got divided up into groups for something and got grouped together. Pretty much the first thing she did was start making fun of our disabled coworkers in another group, and on top of that she was dumb as a bag of rocks. Seriously, one of the most dumpster fire personalities I've ever encountered. An elderly gentleman fell in front of us. He took a nasty fall. She found it hilarious. Instead of helping, she just stood there laughing. I helped that person out, and I felt so embarrassed for her behavior. So that was the last time I saw her. It was a major turn-off for me. Went on a few dates with a girl who by all means was a perfect match for me. Kind-hearted, funny, hot, and super into gaming and anime. On our third date we did a double date with her ex-boyfriend, who I was friends with, and his new girlfriend. He brought up a story about a time she shit her pants, and she chimed in and told the whole story. Immature me was super grossed out and lost all attraction. That's probably exactly what the dude wanted to happen. Looking back, I cringe at the fact I dumped her. Her biggest flaw was that she was willing to tell a very embarrassing story in front of me. LOL, what an idiot I was. I had a very attractive coworker whom I would get tongue-tied around because she was like young Audrey Hepburn level beautiful. One time, she made a really gross joke about shitting in her leggings and the attraction switch flipped off immediately. It was a relief, honestly, because I never remotely had a shot with her and was able to interact with her more professionally afterward. It worked as she intended. I love the idea that this girl is just so attractive she's had to come up with a binder full of disgusting stories to pull out on guys she's not interested in because they won't stop being creeps around her. My cat didn't like her. Brought her home to introduce her to my parents. She meets my childhood cat and it goes psychotic. Just for her reaching down to pat him, he panicked, attached himself to her arm and wouldn't let go, just clawing at her like he found a demon to fight or something. When he eventually detached himself, they were both running around the room screaming as she tried to wave him off her arm. I checked her over and he did some damage. He's never reacted like that to anyone before or since. We broke it off shortly later. I found out a few years ago she was in the court system. Why? She tried to kill her own kid. I didn't dodge a bullet because of my cat. I dodged an artillery shell. That is some scary shit. Your cat may have saved your life. Probably did. He was a good little boy, most of the time. She worked at the bank down the street from my house. Super cute, very friendly, and I had a chance. Then I got a note from her, and her spelling and grammar were atrocious. I'm not sure if it was a weird reason since I can't imagine anyone enjoying this, but her place reeked of old stale animal piss. I had taken her home after a date, but I realized I really needed to hit the restroom. But she lived a solid 10 to 15 minute drive from civilization, so she agreed for me to use her toilet real quick. The moment I stepped through the front door, it was like a solid wall of stale animal piss punching me in the face. Did my best to not gag, crossing through the whole house being yipped at by 2 different rat dogs, don't know how to spell it, tiny annoying, trembling fearful bravery, and spotted at least 2 cats, I think, peering at me from behind furniture. Even had to hold my shirt over my nose while I was using the toilet. It was awful. Seriously, clean up after your pets. It's one thing if the accident happened while we were gone, but I've had animals before. Fresh, semi-fresh smells different than stale and old. She told me she doesn't buy electronics in certain months because of the zodiac signs. Her dogs were horrible. Loud, out of control, no sense of personal space, wouldn't listen. She'd just laugh it off and call them her sweet little boys. Nope. Deleted as soon as I left her place. That's really, really common. So is a zero level of concern for dog hair everywhere, including the ice trays. She chewed with her mouth open. Watched my 25 years old girlfriend of 2 months play wrestle with her half-brother. Was weirdly sexual, biting, deep eye contact and flirtatious giggling. Nope, out of there, broke it off. Very cute girl, very sweet, really liked me. But she looked way younger than she was and I worked for middle schools. Her features were too close to the students, and it made me feel weird. She had a really bad laugh and her eyes would get huge when she laughed. It was genuinely unnerving and I once found myself over-caffeinated and nearly pushed toward an anxiety attack. It was in college. I texted a friend and asked them to call me with a fake emergency so I could leave the conversation with her and calm down, give it a bit to get my caffeine levels down. But later on, in a healthier mental state, all I could think of was the time I had been legitimately frightened by her expression while laughing. I went to the grocery store with her and it turns out she was one of those people with no awareness that is in everyone's way. Dirty acrylic nails. She made banana bread and it gave me acid reflux. She would have a strong strawberry air freshener in her small flat with no windows open and served me hot sausage casserole. Was dating a girl for a few months and one night we went out to a bar and we happened to run into one of her old guy friends. The night wraps up and he asks for a ride so she said she'd drive him home. We get to the car and I start to get in the front seat, and she tells me to get in the back seat, and her friend just gave me a look like I was a chump and says, "Yeah, get in the back seat." I just closed the door and walked away. Never called her again. She kept buying me stuff. It was nice at first, but she kept doing it weekly and demanded I give gifts in return. I asked her to stop and she said, "Nope, this is what I do." Felt like she didn't even care about what I wanted. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.